Kia ora, greetings, g'day, hello and welcome back here with another question on SAS Reality Check. So let's jump in. Scott here. Hi Joe, thanks for making your new channel and for providing great insight into a number of interesting topics and questions which have helped me a great deal. You're welcome. Thank you. If you have time, I'd appreciate getting your thoughts and experience in relation to training and overtraining. I noticed in your generic training plan that you shared you're prescribing training every day. Do you think that's wise? And then question mark. I'll carry on. Would that not increase the potential for injury due to fatigue? Question mark. Do you think it's possible for someone to prepare for selection who commits to training 2 to 3 times per week and is strict on their nutrition and recovery? Question mark. I hear and see the work smarter, not harder messaging, and a lot of it makes sense to me. Okay. I also see the train smarter, not harder messages that get around as well, and much of that also makes sense to me. I can't help but think that approach might suit me and work better for me. Okay. I'm not trying to avoid hard work. I know I'm a hard worker. I'm just trying to figure out the best way for me to approach my selection preparation so I can turn up in as good a shape as possible and not be carrying any injuries. Thank you for your time, Joe, and the responses you provide to our questions. Kind regards. Wow. Okay. First, thank you very much for taking the time, sending through your query, your honesty in that as well. Good to hear that you believe you are a hard worker. I can't help but feel when I got to the, work smarter, not harder, and the train smarter, not harder messaging, I was thinking, is this guy just looking for a bloody easy option, easy way out? So thanks for sort of adding that information in there. Coming back to your questions in regards to the generic training plan and prescribing training every day. Do I think that's wise? I don't know that, I'm not qualified to say whether or not it's wise or not. What I can say is that it worked for me twice. So it worked for me prior to my going on selection in New Zealand and successfully completing and passing that. And it worked for me prior to going on the Australian selection. And again, being fortunate to successfully complete and pass and go on to the cycle in both instances for NZ and Australia. So do you think it's wise? I don't have any academic qualifications or PhDs or anything like that to qualify me to say whether or not it's wise. What I can say for me, from my perspective, is that it worked for me. Would that not increase the potential for injury due to fatigue? Yeah, it could increase the potential injury due to fatigue, much like a number of other things, like working a long, hard day at work. So, working full time and then going on and then doing your training at the end of a long, hard day, that could increase your potential for injury. Having a long, hard day and just driving to and or from work could increase the potential for an accident, So there's a number of things that could increase the potential risk of injury due to fatigue, all that sort of thing. Stresses going on, conversations that you might have had with either a customer or a loved one or whatever. There's a whole bunch of things. So yes, it could potentially increase the potential for injury, training every day. But if I try to provide a little bit more context, like I haven't got the generic training plan that I provided up on the screen in front of me. I've just got the question here in front of me that I'm reading through. But if you look at that training program, and from memory, I'm pretty sure I've got an AM and PM session, because basically that's what I did whilst still being a full-time soldier in both the New Zealand Defence Force and the Australian Defence Force. So you just got to find time and make it work. 24 hours in a day, say you're sleeping 10 hours of that, say you're sleeping, so there's 14 hours left, say you're working 8 hours of that, what's that? Another 6 hours still left in the day. You're not training for 6 hours with regards to that time that's left over to get some work in. Maybe you're training an hour to 2 hours. Maybe it's 30 minutes to an hour and a half. Maybe it's 45 minutes in the morning and an hour and a half session in the afternoon or whatever that works out to be. It's probably maybe half of that 6 hour time remaining with regards to the 10 hours sleep, if you're lucky enough to get 10 hours sleep, 8 hour workday. maybe an extra, say, tack on another hour for travel to and from work, so to speak. So that's 19 hours gone, and you've got 5 hours left. You're probably not training for that other 5 hours, So in there, mixed up in that 5 hours, you've got some eating, downtime, whatever, watching a movie, whatever the case might be, and you've got maybe a couple of hours worth of training. So I don't think it's unreasonable, excuse me, to train twice a day or to train every day. And not every day needs to be a thrash training session or a super hard training session. So I don't think I've got that in the generic training program. I don't think every session is a thrashing or a hard one. So yeah, that's my take with regards to your first lot of questions. If that's going to increase in your case, your potential for injury, and if you don't like that, then don't do it. The next part is interesting. You've got here, do you think it's possible for someone to prepare for selection who commits to training 2 to 3 times per week and is strict on their nutrition and recovery? Anything's possible, eh? I'm no expert on that. I can't speak to that with any sort of authenticity because I never did just 2 to 3 training sessions per week, and I never was strict, and I'm still not strict in terms of my nutrition, and probably my recovery probably isn't as good. It's probably better than what it was back then, but it's probably still not that good, to be honest. So training 2 to 3 times per week, I mean, hey, if that's where you're leaning, and if you feel like that will work better for you, because we've got the train smarter, not harder messages, and much of that makes sense to you. You can't help but think that approach might suit you and work better for you. If you feel that way, then do it. Like, there's no, this is just my 2 cents. I appreciate you asking for my thoughts and take on it. But I didn't train that way in preparation for selection. I don't train that way. I still don't train that way now, the 2 to 3 times per week. I try to get something in every day, and I eat what I feel like eating. So recovery, well, I'm doing YouTube full time, so I have much more time to try to recover better than what I used to in the past. So, but I guess maybe my body's just taking a little bit of adjusting, getting used to that, because it's still, I guess, a few creaks and niggles and aches and pains are in and around different parts of the body, but still, it's not that bad. So 2 to 3 times per week, is that possible? Anything's possible. If you think that that's going to work better for you, do it. Go for it. I'm not here to try to distract you or convince you to not do what it is that you think will work better for you. You should 100% go with your gut and do what you feel works better for you. I personally, knowing what I know now, and if I was to go back and do it again, I wouldn't change it. Why? Well, because it worked. So why would I change it for me? But there may be a number of people that did prepare for selection by only training 2 to 3 times per week, who were either strict with their nutrition and recovery, or maybe they still trained 2 to 3 times per week, but still ate whatever they wanted and still cracked it. So, I definitely don't have a crystal ball or the authority or the power to say that only training 2 to 3 times per week will work versus training every day. So that generic program too, just on the back end of that, like, take it and tweak it. That's the whole intent of it, you make it suit your circumstances, your situation. And if instead of training 7 days a week, a total of sort of 13 to 14 sessions over that 7-day period, if that's too much volume for you, even though not every session is a thrashing one, then adjust it, tweak it to suit your needs. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Not sure if that does help, but it's what I've got for you with regards to overtraining and or the training smarter, not harder approach. And thank you again for your time. Likewise, anybody else that spent any time here, if you've got your own thoughts, comments, and things like that, feel free to whack them in the comments. I should have mentioned it in all the videos. Like, I'm only providing a small insight, for want of a better term, based on my experience and based on my thoughts. And that's not the be all and end all, So plenty of you out there, if not all of you out there, have got your own thoughts and opinions on it. Many people out there have got blinking academic qualifications to back them up as well, in terms of science, as well as likely experience, so a combination of academic theoretical knowledge as well as your practical lived experience too. So feel free to chuck those in there. I'm sure it will be of help, not only maybe to this person, but probably to me and to other people as well. So again, as always, with that being said, the message is the same, eh? Regardless of your challenges, trials, difficulties that you may be facing, just encourage you to keep turning up, keep staying in the fight, put one foot in front of the other and take one day at a time. Know and trust that things can do and will get better if you want them to, that the sun will shine again and that there are better days ahead, and those better days are always closer than you and I think. There is a light at the end of that tunnel. So keep going, keep chipping away. As always, go always a little further. Remember, who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, there is a big mana wave coming from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation and gratitude for you all.